Hello, everyone. I'm going to be discussing how I got my Tier 4 student visa. So, first things first, this is just what I went through. Not everyone is going to be the same, clearly, because I struggled a lot when I was doing mine. Um, so, let's just hop right into it. Okay, so the first thing that I did was picking a school. Personally, for me, I already knew that I was going to be coming to the UK. Like, it was just, I didn't have a plan B. I graduated in May and I was going to go on to get my master's in the UK and live with my boyfriend. Everybody who knows me knows that I was moving to London regardless. And with that being said, I got into the University of Greenwich, City University, and a couple of other schools, but uh, I chose University of Greenwich. So then you want to research everything that there is to know about which kind of visa that you want and what's required for it. Um, and that was when COVID hit for me, was when I realized, yeah, everything's not going to be the same. So I was working part time as a barista, and then COVID hit, and I went back home. I was living in Baltimore at the time. I went back home with my parents and my sisters, finished off school, and started applying for my visa. And so that's when I did all my research and everything, and then the visa process was supposed to start June. So, and they told me everything was in order. I'd gotten all of my documents. I've got certificate after I graduated. I sent that in, my transcripts, just all of the paperwork that they needed. And then that's when I needed also proof from FAFSA. So I had to fill out my FAFSA for the University of Greenwich because now I'd gotten in. So with the FAFSA, what that entailed was making sure that I had enough money put aside to cover the school fees as well as housing and any other charges. And they give you an Excel document that it tells you everything that they're going to require money for. And then once they turn that into dollars, that's how much I would be taking out from FAFSA. And everybody's amount is going to be different. I knew that I was going to be paying some of it out of pocket because I didn't want to do it all in loans. So then once I did that, that's when they'll send it back to you if something's not right, or if they think you need more money for something else, or if they think maybe your number's going too low. They'll send back the Excel sheet again where you fill out and fix things. I had mine sent back 3 times because I was lowballing it. They were like, look, just take more money. You're going to need more money. So after that was finished, that's when I got my CAS number, CAS. And what that does is it lets them know that you're ready to start applying for your visa. So at this point, I hadn't even started applying for my visa yet. This was all just financial aid information. And then so with the CAS, I left everything but maybe $5,000, but they did need that amount to be shown as yes, I could take care of myself. In my bank account, this is what I have to show to know that I can won't be a burden to anyone living in this country. So the University of Greenwich provided me with a visa solicitor, and what they did is they helped me they walked me through how to do the visa. They asked for all of my information. They want to know everything. I had to go find every passport that I've ever owned. I have 5 in my lifetime. I had to bring them all out. I had to write down everywhere I'd ever traveled to. It was a lot. The visa process was a lot, but I was committed. There was no plan B. I was going to get this visa. So I did all of the visa work. I submitted the paperwork, and this is where it gets tricky. So I get to the end, and it's asking where I would like to book my biometrics appointment, fingerprinting, pictures, like all of the stuff that like you're going to turn in this visa, and you have to go in person to give them your fingerprints. And it's the middle of COVID. It's June and end of June, early July. Nothing is open. And I didn't know this. So I'm sitting there like, okay, at this point, I've paid my health surcharge of $585. And then I get to the end of the document and it's asking where I would like to book it. And so they have like priority, which is like you can expect, answer in maybe 2 weeks or less. And I'm sitting here like, well, that one looks pretty nice compared to the government owned biometrics, like Immigration Services, which is in Baltimore. And I'm like, no, I'd rather go to DC. Like it's a little closer and it looks like it's priority. I like the word priority. So I booked that one, and it asks if I'm ready to put in my payment of another $452. Now, I'd already paid my health surcharge and I already paid for the visa. So I'm wondering where this $452 is coming from. And it's like, due to the priority purchase for fingerprints, that is how much I'm going to have to pay. And I'm sitting here like, the Baltimore one was free. So now I'm thinking like, okay, well, I can't continue with this. Like, I'm asking my mom, like, what should I do? She's like, I don't know, it's up to you. But I would do the Baltimore one. The Baltimore one is free. It doesn't make sense. Why are you going to pay $452 when you can just do it for the government one for free? So I'm like, yeah, okay. And I asked my solicitor, and then my solicitor's like, pretty much I've helped you up to this point with the application. Everything else is up to you. So I was like, all right, that's fine. And there's no going back to select a different one. You have to void the entire visa. That's why it was such like a issue. Like I hadn't physically turned anything in yet, so it was still able to be canceled. So I was like, you know what, it's fine. I'm gonna cancel this visa. There's no moving backwards in a visa. So I canceled it. They said I would get my health surcharge back, the $585 that I paid. I'm gonna get that back within 28 days or so. So I just wrote that off. I was like, all right, that's fine. I've lost that money. And then instead of paying the $452, I canceled the visa. So I applied all over. I did everything that I did before, starting from putting in all of where I've gone ever in my life, from all of my passports, all the information, where I'm going to be staying, all my personal business. And then when I pay another health surcharge. Like, you have to pay the health surcharge before you can even select the biometrics. So I pay another health surcharge of $585 again. And then I get to where I'm selecting the biometrics. I select the Baltimore one, the free, and it's free. I don't have to pay for anything. But there are no available openings for fingerprinting. Now, when I did that priority one, they were ready to take me within that week, like the end of the week, they were ready to take me. And I've now switched to the free Baltimore one for Immigration Services, and there's no openings. None. Not within that month. So I'm just like freaking out. I'm really freaking out. I made a Twitter account. I started following VFS Global. I started following Immigration Services, and they don't know when it's going to open again. And at this point, nobody's leaving their house. Everyone was talking about, we're gonna have to start wearing masks outside. We're gonna have to, the world is gonna be different. I already know nobody's traveling at this moment. I don't even know if I'm gonna get a visa at all. Like, I'm just going through it. And at this point, I'm already down over $1,000. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna wait this out. I'm gonna wait maybe like a week or two. And at this point it was and like time's running out. Like it's mid-June and I still don't have a visa that's been like established. And so I gave it a week. I waited, still nothing. Like there were still no openings. So I was like, you know what? I have to cancel this again. I have to start from scratch again. So I canceled the visa. It did not look like that visa place was gonna open anytime soon. So I canceled it. I did all of the paperwork all over again, put in all of my passport information, all of my past travels, put that into the new visa, and then paid another health surcharge of another $585. And then this time I paid for VFS Global Priority, but time had already gone by. It was closer to the end of July, and then that's when I realized, there's the bookings within a week aren't possible, and so I had to book for a following 2-week wait, and by then it would already have been August, and that's just what I had to do. And I would have had to start school. I know school was starting in September. Like school didn't start until October, but they wanted us to start arriving in September, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna miss this. Or like end of August, I think that was when I planned to buy my ticket, and it was not happening. Like I ended up getting an appointment at the end of July. And when that day came, I was so excited. I was looking up how it's going to be if I need to come for an interview. I was thinking up all of my questions. And at this point, I 3 visa applications down. Like I was ready to go. And then so I had to go to VFS Global. I had to get my fingerprints taken. I had to get pictures taken. And I had to do just answer a couple more questions and turn in my visa application. Now, when I got in there, I printed out all of my paperwork like they asked me to, and the shipping labels and all of that, because they give you shipping labels to ship your visa there and then also to ship it back with the priority. And I did all of that, not realizing I printed out my visa application for one of the previous visa applications that I'd done, because at this point my computer's holding like 3 visa applications. I printed out the wrong one, but they were like, oh, it's fine, you have your most recent number that they give you for your visa. So I was like, yeah, I have that. They looked me up, they got my real visa application. I was so nervous, but honestly, they could have told me to hop on one foot to get this visa and I would have done it. So that was probably the hardest parts. And then after that, it was the waiting period. Now, this waiting period, it didn't last necessarily that long. I was maybe waiting for 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks. It was 14 days, but I was on Twitter. I was reading comments where in India, they were taking people's passports and not giving them back. And I was just sitting here like, oh my God, did I just send in my passport? And they're going to be like, no, it's COVID. You're not going anywhere. Like, sit down. Like, I was thoroughly realizing like, oh my God, I'm not going to get this visa on time. I'm not going to start school on time. I'm going to have to be staying with my parents. I don't want to do that. Like, I was already planning my plan B when I just got my dad answered the door when the doorbell rang, and it was my visa. And I was gone within the week. I literally, with the minute I saw the passport and I opened it up and I saw my visa, just tears. Like I was crying. And I looked at the next available ticket was for the week after. That was the best price, and I took whatever I could find and I just got out of there. And at that point I had even started wearing all the clothes I was supposed to be packing, so I was like, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna have to stay in this house with all you people. I don't want to be here anymore. But I got it, and I traveled during COVID, which was a situation all in its own. There was literally no one in the airport. Like, it was me and like 3 other people. It was very peaceful. I wouldn't mind traveling during COVID again, but I mean, obviously during COVID, we were all kind of freaked out. But yeah, I traveled. And after getting there, I had to register with the police. I had to get my biometric residence permit, which was going to the post office, and they already pre-send your card out to your chosen place, whether it's the school or a nearby post office, and I chose the post office. I got that right away, and then well, that was after my isolation, so I had to isolate for 2 weeks. Yep. And then we had welcome week, and now here I am. So just my biggest advice would be just stay patient in your visa process. It's a lot to handle. It's a lonely process because I know everyone was tired of me when I was applying for my visa. That was the biggest thing. It was just like, no one understands what I'm going through. I have no idea where I could find help for this. Like, there is no booklet on how to sign up for a tier 4 student visa during COVID. Like, no one is going through this, but people are going through it. They're just not talking about it. Twitter was my best friend, pretty much. I met tons of people that were either trying to get married and move in with their spouses here, people that were trying to get work visas, people that had tier 4s and they didn't know what was going on. So you're never alone. You just need to find a support system. And yes, and that's why I'm making this video, because I mean, of course, once COVID clears up, everything will go back to normal, but the visa process is not straightforward as it may seem, because it's not the same for everyone. So yeah, thanks for watching and good luck on your visa journey.